Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Soul Land 2 Peerless Tang Men based on novel. So let's start. Before, when he dueled with Wang Qiu'er, it was already very difficult for him to defeat her. Currently, Tang Wuton's current ability seemed to be a combination of Wang Qiu'er's and Wang Dong's abilities. She was also already a titled Dueler. When it came to individual abilities, she was probably the strongest in the whole Tang sect. Even though Huo Yuhao was boosted by his multiple spirits, he could not be complacent when going up against her. After seeing how he had been excluded from this upcoming affair, Ji Juechen retreated to the side unwillingly. However, he was still very excited to watch a battle between two powerful cultivators. Watching their battle was still very useful for his cultivation. After Ji Juechen retreated, Huo Yuhao took up his place as he allowed his energy to calm down. As he watched Tang Wuton, who was walking further and further away, he started to focus on his target. Bei Bei, Shusansha, He Kai-tu, and the others stopped fooling around. Xiao Xiao had quietly returned as she took up a place beside He Kai-tu. To be honest, everyone knew well enough that the two strongest cultivators in Tang's sect were none other than Huo Yuhao and Tang Wuton. However, they were not certain exactly how strong these two were. When Huo Yuhao teamed up with Tang Wuton to pin down the two evil soul masters, they had fully demonstrated the power of their martial soul fusion skills. However, that was still fundamentally different from facing off against one another. One-on-one battles were the true demonstration of an individual's abilities. It would show everyone how strong they had become, and that was something that everyone from Tang's sect wanted to know. Nan Qiuqiu, who was standing to one side, moved over to talk to Tang Wuton. She waved her fist and cheered, "Wuton, go for it. Beat him. Beat him until he loses all his teeth." Huo Yuhao was at a loss for words. "Qiuqiu, do you really hate me that much?" Nan Qiuqiu replied, "This is no longer an issue of hatred. It's about the battle between the sexes. Ladies, am I right?" Her words received support from her fellow ladies. Shusansha then cheered loudly, "Yuhao, you can do it. Brother Ji has already lost the first round. You must not lose again. If you lose, I am afraid every male in Tang sect will have to walk around with our heads lowered." Huo Yuhao sighed. "That's easy for you to say. I don't think it will be an easy fight against Wuton." At this moment, Tang Wuton had already walked to a distance which would separate her from Huo Yuhao by about 100 meters. When she turned around to face Huo Yuhao, her beautiful eyes showed the excitement in her heart. No one knew whether she was excited to fight, or excited by the prospect of destroying Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao focused his gaze on Tang Wuton. Bei Bei walked forward a few steps before declaring, "I will be the referee for this duel. Are both of you ready?" Compared to the previous duel between Ji Juechen and Xiao Xiao, this duel was obviously a lot more formal. As of now, the higher-ups of Tang's sect were not the only spectators. After hearing the commotion above the knoll, many of the soul engineers from the three legions had left their resting areas and surrounded the knoll to watch the upcoming duel. After hearing that they were about to witness a duel between Huo Yuhao and Tang Wuton, all of them were visibly more excited than the duelists themselves. Most of the Soul Engineers in the Tang Sect Soul Engineer Legion, the 4th Soul Engineer Legion, and the Heavy Artillery Soul Engineer Legion were young people. Even the older ones were only middle-aged. They were all people who were full of bloodlust, and were raring to watch people fight. They were extremely interested to watch a battle between two top-class soul masters. Besides, quite a number of people within the legions had witnessed Huo Yuhao demonstrate his abilities during the Sea God's fated blind date. It was also then that he got together with Tang Wuton. Even people who were not fortunate enough to see them at the blind date would have definitely heard about them. Now, they were about to watch them duel in front of their eyes. It was an opportunity not to be missed. As people quickly passed the message about the duel that was about to start, a large number of soul engineers had surrounded the sparring ground. Even though they were keeping a safe distance from the actual ground itself, their excitement was still infectious. Huo Yuhao and Tang Wuton were not anxious about the duel at all. Both of them merely stood there as they waited patiently for the duel to officially begin. Even though the fight was about to start, both of them were perfectly fine with having the legions spectate their battle, because it was a good way to improve their morale. Everyone wanted to be assured of the strength of their commanders. A strong commander would not only lead them to victory, but would also be capable of keeping them safe. Hence, Huo Yuhao and Tang Wuton chose to wait a little longer until everyone had found a safe viewing point before they nodded at Bei Bei. Bei Bei naturally understood their intentions as he smiled. Both of you really have great chemistry. Are you ready? Once again, they nodded. Bei Bei raised his right hand before looking at both of them. Then, he lowered his hand rapidly as he announced, "Start." As he announced the start of the duel, Tang Wuton made the first move. Her beautiful dragon wings opened up from her back as her soul rings ascended from her feet. The sight of this made the throngs of soul engineers cheer in delight. They were not only cheering because she had 9 soul rings. She possessed a combination of soul rings which far exceeded the best-known combination. The sight of Tang Wuton's red 100,000-year soul ring made the crowd wild. Is this the true strength of the wife of our chief commander? That's unbelievable. Will Chief Commander be able to beat her? After witnessing the powerful soul rings Tang Wuton possessed, everyone turned their attention to Huo Yuhao. Once again, they were stunned by what they saw. Huo Yuhao's eyes released a gentle golden glow as a humongous golden eye formed behind his back. 7 soul rings gently ascended from his feet. Even though there were only 7 rings, their colors were overwhelmingly attention-grabbing. The first soul ring was milky white, with a circle of golden carvings. The second soul ring was already black. The third, fourth and fifth soul rings were also black in color. And to everyone's surprise, the sixth and seventh soul rings were red. After the appearance of his 7th soul ring, the air around Huo Yuhao started to bend and twist, as though he were no longer real. Tang Wuton slowly raised her right hand as her body emanated an intense golden glow, which spread outwards in the shape of a butterfly. As she tapped the tip of her foot on the ground gently, she sprang forwards towards Huo Yuhao in flight. As her wings flapped intensely behind her back, she had already flown 100 meters, and was right in front of Huo Yuhao before anyone could even see how she did it. That's way too fast. Everyone cheered in unison after witnessing her incredible speed. Tang Wuton leaned slightly to the side as her right wing went straight for Huo Yuhao. A deafening howl could be heard as the dragon wing extended to form a gigantic blade. Huo Yuhao's body had become illusory the moment Tang Wuton dashed over. He had activated his spiritual interference domain. While the wing cut through his figure, it was not able to hit his real body. Huo Yuhao had silently moved towards behind Tang Wuton right before everyone's eyes. He threw out a simple punch at her back. Even though the punch seemed extraordinarily simple, Tang Wuton froze after receiving the blow, as though she had become immobile. Huo Yuhao's punch seemed to contain a black hole that was holding her in place. Tang Wuton closed and folded the wings behind her back, before releasing them again violently, as she hoped to use the sharp edges of her wings to counter Huo Yuhao's fists. However, at this instant, Huo Yuhao's eyes flashed as he released a spiritual blast radiating from the center of his body into the area about 10 meters from him. The golden trident rune on Tang Wuton's forehead flickered and absorbed most of the force from the spiritual blast. This only delayed Wuton slightly, as her wings continued in their course and collided with Huo Yuhao's fist. Ping! A loud metallic sound rang out. Huo Yuhao retreated rapidly upon their collision. The others also noticed how the air around him had started to show signs of cracking and shattering. These cracks were caused by the sharpness of Tang Wuton's dragon wings. However, things were also not easy for Tang Wuton. The golden light from Huo Yuhao's fist had followed the contours of her wings and flowed into her body. To her surprise, this golden glow caused her to lose her focus for a split second. After being forced backwards, Huo Yuhao's 3rd soul ring lit up. A vertical beam of white light shone on Tang Wuton. Mass enfeeblement. Of course, it had been focused on a single target under Huo Yuhao's superior control. Its power was naturally magnified as it became a lot more concentrated. Following which, his fourth soul ring lit up. A mysterious whirlpool formed above Tang Wuton's head. If one were to pay attention to the whirlpool, one would notice the little vertical eye which was flickering within it. Spiritual confusion. After releasing two powerful control-type soul skills simultaneously, Huo Yuhao's soul rings suddenly changed. The original 7 rings became 8 different soul rings. Even their colors had become different. As he raised his right hand, a gigantic deep blue sword appeared. Following which, the sword went for Tang Wuton's head as it followed the 2 powerful soul skills. Snow Empress 3 Ultimate Techniques, Unparalleled Chill, Empress Sword. This series of transformations was extremely rapid. Everyone found it hard to follow Huo Yuhao's movements, as his attacks were just too quick for their eyes. His transition from controlling to attacking was seamless. He did not seem like he was going easy on Tang Wuton at all. Tang Wuton only lost her focus momentarily. When the mass enfeeblement landed on her body, she had already regained her focus. Her eyes revealed a flash as her body flipped on its own in mid-air. Afterwards, she raised her hands as her fourth soul ring lit up. Dragon God's Possession. As the armor of dragon scales fitted itself onto Tang Wuton, her aura suddenly changed. Her powerful dragon aura blew away the mass enfeeblement. Even the dangerous spiritual confusion was blocked by the golden trident on her forehead. The shiny golden dragon spear appeared and blocked the unparalleled chill's blade. Cling. Once again, another bright sound echoed through the air. The unparalleled chill shattered in mid-air, while Tang Wuton also fell to the ground from the impact, her entire body covered with a layer of frost. Huo Yuhao had been working on his ultimate ice, especially after he had absorbed the manifold mysterious ice essence previously. After the unparalleled chill shattered, it released the extremely low temperature trapped within it. The soul engineers who were watching the duel felt the sudden drop in temperature, and quickly mustered their soul power to warm their bodies. Huo Yuhao let out a long growl as he accelerated instead of retreating. He flew towards Tang Wuton as he pulled his right hand to his waist. The image of the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion appeared behind his back as a star anise mysterious ice grass formed on his shoulder. These increased the aura of his ultimate ice by orders of magnitude. Meanwhile, Tang Wuton fearlessly tapped the ground with her feet. Following which, a gigantic golden dragon appeared with a loud dragon roar. Afterwards, the dragon shrank rapidly and wrapped itself around the golden dragon's spear. Tang Wuton pointed the tip of the spear at Huo Yuhao as both of them prepared for the other's next move. Within the blink of an eye, both of them were inches apart. But suddenly, both of their figures vanished simultaneously. At that very instant, the surrounding soul masters felt the effects of a powerful suction force. The suction force seemed to penetrate their minds as most of the soul masters were forced to take a step forward to steady their bodies. They were struggling against the power of the suction force. But then, in the next instant, both Huo Yuhao and Tang Wuton reappeared in the other's former positions. Both of them revealed a shocked expression on their faces. Following which, both their expressions revealed a look of amazement. I can't believe we have so much chemistry. We're even using the same technique. It seemed like both of them had executed instant teleportation at the same time. They had both wanted to teleport to the other person's back before launching an attack. But it seemed like both of them had foiled the other's plan unintentionally. Even their tactics were exactly the same. Huo Yuhao was lost for words after he realized this, whereas Tang Wuton burst into laughter. But even then, their emotions would not get into the way of their fight. After teleporting to where Huo Yuhao was, Tang Wuton spun around as her golden dragon spear lashed back like a whip towards him. Huo Yuhao moved as he barely dodged the jab from Tang Wuton's spear. The current situation was starting to show the advantage that weapon wielders had over soul masters who did not wield weapons. Because Huo Yuhao did not have a weapon, he could only react passively to Tang Wuton's attacks. After barely dodging the attack from her spear, Huo Yuhao placed his right palm above the tip of the golden dragon spear as he pressed it downwards. Suddenly, Tang Wuton injected her strength into the spear in an explosive manner. This sudden imbalance in energy caused Huo Yuhao to be tossed aside, as though he had just been electrocuted. In addition, his hand was bursting with light and energy. It was apparent that he had expended copious amounts of soul power to barely block off the lifesteal ability of Tang Wuton's golden dragon spear. Meanwhile, after suffering from a blow from the snowless glacier, the glow on the golden dragon spear became slightly fainter. However, the golden dragon light, which had wrapped itself around the spear, suddenly intensified as it forced the cold aura out of the spear. Once again, Tang Wuton's body released an unbelievable amount of golden light, as her soul power intensified once more. As she flapped the wings behind her back, she chased after Huo Yuhao like a comet. It took her no time at all to appear behind his back. In their previous collision, Huo Yuhao was undoubtedly the loser. He was at a disadvantage because he did not have a weapon. Tang Wuton was not about to let him catch his breath. A golden dragon head appeared in front of her chest, and dragon let out a low roar. A streak of golden light emerged from the dragon's mouth as it shot straight towards Huo Yuhao. Dragon God's Roar. Tang Wuton's fifth soul skill was the skill which made the evil soul master suffer a lot previously. It was going to be very difficult for Huo Yuhao to evade this attack, when it was fired at such a short distance from him. Tang Wuton's tactics could be said to be very unpredictable. Just when everyone thought that she was about to begin a close combat battle with Huo Yuhao after chasing after him, she suddenly released a ranged skill. And this ranged attack was released precisely before Huo Yuhao could predict her next move. Because Huo Yuhao could use his spiritual detection to predict Tang Wuton's moves, he was supposed to be able to know what she was about to do next. However, Tang Wuton now possessed superior soul power, and her attacks were unprecedentedly unpredictable. She was undoubtedly trying to reduce the advantage of Huo Yuhao's spiritual detection by trying to be as unpredictable as possible. After being knocked away by the previous blow, he landed in a position where he could look straight at Tang Wuton. As he saw the golden streak of light from the dragon god's roar coming towards him, his face revealed a faint smile, much to everyone's surprise. Following which, Huo Yuhao's eyes brightened as his hands made a hugging motion in front of his chest. Then, a strange scene unfolded before their eyes. The airflow around his body suddenly became very violent and rapid. It was suddenly infused with an agitated ultimate ice aura, as it formed a whirlpool around his body. He extended his left hand outwards, while retracting his right hand as an icy blue whirlpool formed. Boom! A violet humming sound reverberated across the sparring ground. Once again, Huo Yuhao was thrown backwards before he slowed himself with his feet. However, Tang Wuton was no longer able to chase after him. Her body paused in mid-air, as her eyes revealed her shock at what had just happened. A layer of ice had formed on her dragon god's armor. Tang Wuton shook her body, as though the dragon god itself was shaking its armor. The layer of ice shattered, but her speed was visibly slower than before. Huo Yuhao also took this opportunity to catch his breath. As he looked at Tang Wuton, he slowly raised his right hand as a tornado suddenly formed around his body. This was not any normal tornado. If one were to be precise, it was an ice-snow tornado. The tornado's diameter was only about 5 meters. But it was as tall as the heavens as it stood towering above everyone, with its top beyond anyone's field of view. Huo Yuhao seemed to have disappeared within the tornado. Tang Wuton's eyes narrowed as she paused momentarily. She did not immediately attack, as she let out a cold battle cry. She raised the golden dragon spear, which she was wielding with her right hand as she pointed it at the tornado. At the same time, her small frame exploded with an invincible aura. Even Huo Yuhao had never seen this aura that Tang Wuton had just released. She released the pair of wings behind her back. At this instant, she seemed to have become a circle. With her body as the center of a greater circle, a blinding purple-gold glow illuminated her surroundings. The diameter of this purple-gold glow was a good 10 meters. After its appearance, almost the entire spectral demiplane's aura seemed to have become agitated and more violent. If one were to pay attention to Tang Wuton's soul rings, one would notice that her 8th soul ring had just lit up. Tang Wuton's body disappeared, as though she had transformed into a beautiful butterfly flying within the humongous purple-gold glow. At this instant, it seemed like the spectral demiplane had a sun for the first time, a beautiful purple-gold sun. Shu Sanxi's jaw dropped as he witnessed the sight before him. That's way too insane. What the hell are they trying to do? They have been executing impossibly difficult moves one after another. Ji Juechen, are you still planning to challenge Wutong? I think they might still have some cards up their sleeves. Ji Juechen had a worried look on his face. In his mind, he knew that he might have stood a chance against the previous moves that Tang Wuton had executed. But after he saw the purple-gold sun before his eyes, he knew that there was an impossible gap between them. In order to bridge this gap, he first had to attain the rank of a title Doluo. But was it really that easy to move from 8 to 9 rings? Ji Juechen's martial soul was not considered a strong one. It was more than just a game of probability, as to whether he could get his soul core. Yes, the soul skill that Tang Wuton had just executed was her 8th soul skill, Dragon Dance of the Radiant Sun. It was an immensely powerful offensive soul skill. As the purple-gold sun slowly rose into the sky, the radiant dragon god's butterfly danced within its glow. As the sun climbed higher into the sky, the pressure it released became even greater. All the soul masters, who were watching the battle, started to retreat from the area. No one wanted to be injured by this powerful soul skill. Countless spectral creatures, which were prowling around the other end of the spectral demiplane, howled in fear, as though they were being attacked by the sun's glow. All of them started to flee as far as possible. Meanwhile, the ice-snow tornado that Huo Yuhao had created stood proud and tall. As the Soul Masters started to retreat further from the sparring ground, its size started to grow as it became more powerful. Yuhao, watch my dragon dance of the radiant sun. Tang Wuton warned Yuhao. In the next instant, the brightness of the sun grew to its maximum. Following which, a gigantic purple-gold pillar of light tore the sky apart, as it raced towards Huo Yuhao's ice-snow tornado. However, before the sun's blow even reached the tornado, the ice-snow tornado suddenly disintegrated. That was something no one had expected. Huo Yuhao had vanished. He was replaced by 2 figures, who were holding each other's hands. One was white as snow. The other was pale as ice. The Ice and Snow Empress were holding each other's hands, as they carried a smile on their pretty faces. A similarly gigantic beam of light was released from their bodies, as it accelerated towards Tang Wuton's Dragon Dance of the Radiant Sun. This pillar was formed from the combination of the pure white color of snow and the pale jade color of ice. The 2 tones of light blended perfectly with one another as they released an invincible aura. Yes. This was the most powerful soul skill that Huo Yuhao had acquired after fusing with the Snow Empress. It was a skill that came with his Ice Jade Empress Scorpion Martial Soul's 5th soul ring. Ice and Snow Empress Arrogance. Boom. A radiant sight unfolded before everyone's eyes. After colliding with one another, both the purple gold glow and the ice jade glow exploded into sparks, which flew everywhere, as the burning brightness of the sun fought the intense cold. This collision caused the entire world to be shaken as the spectral demiplane trembled, and radiant sparks lingered in the air for an extended period of time. The Soul Masters had long become dazed from watching the battle before their eyes. Even though these blows were not targeted at them, they could still feel the frightening power within those attacks. Is this the strength of a top-class cultivator? What would happen if we were the ones receiving these blows? It took a good 10 seconds before the collision of the 2 soul skills to start showing signs of subsiding. In the end, the fight between Tang Wuton and Huo Yuhao came to a deadlock. Neither of them could overwhelm the other. Finally, the dazzling light dissipated. Tang Wuton and Huo Yuhao also reappeared in mid-air. At least, it wasn't possible to find anything wrong with them just by looking at them. Well matched. Tang Wuton fluttered her wings, and a sonic boom suddenly rang out. She turned into a beam of flowing light, and charged towards Huo Yuhao. Both of them had just unleashed a powerful skill, which drained quite a lot of their soul power. They couldn't keep up such an expenditure. Given this, close combat was undoubtedly the best choice. Tang Wuton's figure flashed, and she moved 5 meters in front of Huo Yuhao. Her golden dragon spear turned into thousands of streaks of golden light that surrounded Huo Yuhao. A sonorous dragon roar sounded at the same time. Her spear gave her an advantage. Tang Wuton had a wealth of fighting experience. Through their earlier clash, she could tell that she had an advantage in the aspect of weapons. Dragon Dance of the Radiant Sun versus the Pride of the Ice and Snow Empresses. Tang Wuton had originally believed that she could suppress Huo Yuhao. After all, he wasn't a titled Dueler yet. Both of them even had twin martial souls. In terms of soul power, she should possess a distinct advantage over him. However, she was stunned to realize that not only did she not gain an advantage over him as they fought, but she even felt as if her entire body had been invaded by chilly energy. She knew that that was because Huo Yuhao's ultimate ice was superior to her martial soul. She couldn't really accept this fact. She couldn't believe that her radiant dragon butterfly was inferior to Huo Yuhao's ice jade empress scorpion. Everyone was competitive, including Tang Wuton. Furthermore, she had her own secrets. She already had 9 rings. How could she possibly not gain the upper hand using her 8th soul skill against Huo Yuhao's 5th soul skill? In fact, she had neglected one matter, which was very important. It was Huo Yuhao's 5 spirits. Yes, he only had 8 rings. However, he had 5 powerful spirits. When he first obtained the manifold mysterious ice essence, he wasn't the only one who managed to absorb it. His 5 spirits absorbed it at the same time. His spiritual sense was strengthened, and his 5 spirits all had some level of strength. Even if they couldn't fully rely on Huo Yuhao, they still had their own fighting strength. As a result, they could reflect some of their abilities onto Huo Yuhao when necessary. The earlier attack was an example of that. Clearly, the difference between Tang Wuton and Huo Yuhao was in terms of spirits. Huo Yuhao smiled when he saw the competitive look in Tang Wuton's eyes. "My dear, did you really think that I had no chance against your golden dragon spear?" A trace of deep blue light appeared from Huo Yuhao's hand without any warning. At that instant, everything seemed to freeze up in the spectral demiplane. Ding! A crisp ringing sounded. A tragic dragon scream also echoed at the same time. Tang Wuton shook tremendously. Her bright gold spear started to turn icy blue right from the tip. At the same time, this icy blue was spreading to her body. The streaks of light that she had formed also instantly vanished, turning into nothingness. Tang Wuton exclaimed in shock before she collapsed to the ground. Huo Yuhao also shook slightly in the air. There was an intense look of astonishment in his eyes. At this moment, he was holding a dagger. It was a very weird dagger. It was completely black, and around 36 centimeters long. The hilt was around 12 centimeters long and 5 centimeters wide. The back of the dagger was very thick, but the blade was thin. There was a blue, diamond-shaped gem at the bottom of the hilt. This gem shone with a dim and mysterious glow. The most special part about it was that there was a thin layer of white fog surrounding the blade of this dagger. This layer of fog was formed by countless dense droplets of water. They weren't formed from the consolidation of Huo Yuhao's ultimate ice soul power, and didn't experience any changes because of his soul power either. Dang! The spear fell to the ground. Tang Wuton also collapsed at the same time. She had no choice but to let go of her spear. If she didn't do that, the terrifying chill would have corroded her body through her spear. She couldn't possibly resist that terrifying chill with her soul power. It was completely unimaginable. What was this? This was Tang Wuton's first time seeing the dagger in Huo Yuhao's hand. Her spear had actually been completely defeated by that dagger. Huo Yuhao drifted and landed on the ground. Right now, there was a passionate look in his eyes. He thought to himself, no wonder it's a weapon from a god. At the start, the ghost-carving blade had shocked him greatly. Without it, he wouldn't have possibly become a Class 9 soul engineer in such a short period of time. Nianrongbing, the god of emotions, didn't give him 1, but 2 daggers. The other one was in his hand right now. Huo Yuhao had never used this dagger before. It was his first time taking it out, and he had used it to curb the golden dragon's spear. When he first held this dagger, he sensed that his life seemed to be connected to it. Even his 5 spirits felt it. When he waved the dagger, it was as if all the ultimate ice energy in heaven and earth had gathered around it. Huo Yuhao was completely certain that the temperature of this dagger was below -250 degrees Celsius. Just by simply waving it, half the amount of soul power he had used on his pride of the ice and snow empresses was drained. This was a testament to how much strength was needed to wield it. Even so, Huo Yuhao felt a little dizzy. Evidently, he wasn't completely able to tap into the strength of this dagger with his current abilities. Wuton, are you okay? Huo Yuhao looked at Tang Wuton as he was in awe. Tang Wuton bit her lower lip and glared at the dagger in Huo Yuhao's hand. I've not lost yet. As she spoke, she suddenly pressed her own forehead with her right hand. Instantly, blinding light was released from her forehead. This was Tang Wuton's terrifying might was instantly unleashed. At this instant, Huo Yuhao felt as if his entire body had turned rigid. He felt a little helpless at this point, as if he couldn't resist at all. It wasn't just him. Everyone present had the same feeling. It was also at this instant that a weird feeling surfaced. A refreshing feeling flowed into his body from the dagger. Huo Yuhao suddenly felt as if the pressure on him had been alleviated considerably. Tang Wuton pointed her left hand at her spear, which was still on the ground. She also slowly moved her right hand. It was clear that there was an extra ball of intense golden light in her right hand. That ball of golden light appeared like a fluid. It fell from her hand and landed accurately on the spear. The spear, which was covered in a layer of ice, had started to drift up. When Tang Wuton flung the ball of light at it, it started to shine with golden light. The originally tough layer of ice was scraped away with a deafening sound. Following this, the layer of ice broke, and a beam of golden light shot into the sky. A terrifying might spread at this moment. This time, Huo Yuhao could clearly sense his demiplane shaking tremendously. It was shaking because of Tang Wuton's golden light. Terrifying pressure spread in the air. The golden dragon spear had transformed. It was no longer a spear. The tip divided into 3, and it instantly turned into a golden trident. In addition, Huo Yuhao also discovered that the golden trident rune on Tang Wuton's forehead had disappeared as a result. Tang Wuton groaned, but was a little provocative as she stared at Huo Yuhao. She said, "Let's see whether your dagger can resist me this time." The golden trident fell from the air, and Tang Wuton caught it with her hand. However, her body shook a little as she caught it. Evidently, using this golden trident took a huge toll on her too. What was going on? Before Huo Yuhao could think any further, Tang Wuton had already made her move. Her golden trident moved slightly in the air, and halos immediately shot toward Huo Yuhao. When Tang Wuton moved her golden trident, her dragon scale armor also turned golden. Her aura was simply too powerful and restraining. Even those from the Tang sect were unable to take it, and had to step back. The surrounding soul masters naturally retreated even further. Huo Yuhao was very sharp. He slashed with his dagger, and something strange happened. His dagger actually formed many dense projections. They appeared to be very chaotic and messy. However, on a closer look, they actually contained the principles of heaven and earth. The halos that were released from the golden trident were crushed as they clashed with the dense projections. However, Huo Yuhao's dagger could no longer freeze Tang Wuton's weapon. Tang Wuton was becoming more and more astonished. She clearly knew how strong her move was. She didn't expect Huo Yuhao to have been able to resist her attack. In fact, Huo Yuhao was under more pressure than she thought. Right now, he had already unleashed the rain dragon's dance that Nian Rongbing had imparted to him. Huo Yuhao's dagger had an extremely domineering name, Sigh of the Frozen Goddess, Morning Dew Dagger. This dagger had its own history. Before Nian Rongbing became the god of emotions, this dagger was the first weapon he had obtained just as he was becoming famous in his plane. This Morning Dew Dagger was a dagger made by a master smith whose martial soul was a chill dagger. After that, Nyan Rongbing provided a rock of the frozen goddess to this master, who attached it to the dagger and named it the Morning Dew Dagger. This dagger followed Nyan Rongbing everywhere, and was one of his most important weapons. After he became a god, this dagger remained by his side. It grew stronger as Nyan Rongbing's divine sense became more and more acute. It was a true godly weapon. Right now, Huo Yuhao couldn't fully unleash the strength of this Morning Dew Dagger. He didn't have divine sense yet, and had yet to inherit the godly seat of the god of emotions. This was why his soul power was rapidly drained as he unleashed his Rain Dragon's dance. Of course, he wasn't drained without reason. As he used this dagger to unleash the Rain Dragon's dance, his understanding of the dagger became deeper. At the same time, it was also his first time sensing the secrets of this dagger. The rock of the frozen goddess on this dagger released a strong chilly energy. This energy further cultivated and compressed his soul power. After that, he poured his soul power into the dagger, mustering its true strength. The aura of divine sense was even released from the rock, further boosting his soul power. This was why he could partly unleash the strength of this godly weapon. It was also because of this that he was drained so quickly. Tang Wuton was equally drained as well. Her golden trident was abnormally heavy. Even though she was only using a projection of the trident, she still had to support a third of its actual weight. Furthermore, she was also using a godly skill. The two of them became slower and slower. Tang Wuton's face was completely red, while Huo Yuhao turned paler and paler. Their soul power was being drained very rapidly. Whoever's soul power was drained first would immediately lose this fight. Suddenly, Huo Yuhao staggered a little, and his dagger also paused for a brief moment. The halos that were formed by Tang Wuton's trident hit him. Huo Yuhao's body stiffened. He was restrained by the halos, and couldn't move a single inch. The tip of the golden trident was pointed at Huo Yuhao's chest, but Tang Wuton pursed her red lips. Golden light flashed, and the trident turned back into the golden dragon spear. The golden halos on Huo Yuhao's body also disappeared. It was only now that everyone watching the fight heaved a sigh of relief. The backs of their shirts were completely drenched. This fight was simply too exciting. From the first clash to the subsequent flaunting of big moves to the final exchanges, it didn't seem very lively, but the sense of doom in the air was unprecedented. Ji Juechen was already very grim. This was because he knew that he didn't stand a chance against either Huo Yuhao or Tang Wuton, given his current abilities. He was a sword fanatic, and thus he was especially sensitive towards weapons. Huo Yuhao's Morning Dew Dagger and Tang Wuton's golden trident completely erased his desire to challenge either of them. This was because he knew that his judgment sword would immediately be crushed by those two weapons. The same would happen to his sword aura. This was the difference in their qualities. Even if he became a titled Doluor, things would still not change. He would only possibly stand a chance if he was a transcendent Doluor. How could the rest not feel the same way? They had learned that Huo Yuhao and Tang Wuton were already as strong as titled Doluor. In addition, they weren't just as strong as ordinary titled Doluor. They might even be able to challenge a transcendent Doluor. No wonder their fusion skills were so strong. This video will end here.